Hello students, today we will start with chapter number 5, understanding elementary shapes of exercise 5.1 of standard 6 NCERT. I will read out the questions and we will solve the exercise. The first question is, what is the disadvantage in comparing line segments by mere observation? Now disadvantage, what is the drawback by comparing the line segments using mere observation? Through eyes, what will be the disadvantage using? Now let us see. Suppose this is a line segment of AB and this is a line segment CD. Now here we can just compare the line segments, which one is greater or smaller, but we cannot get the exact measurement of a particular line segment. So this is one disadvantage of the observation by mere one. Other thing is, when you compare the line segment, you will not get the exact answer. You will not get the exact reading of these two line segments. For that we need the scale. So this is one drawback of the observation. Now let us move to the next question, number 2. Why it is better to use a divider than a ruler while measuring the lengths of the line segments? So here the question is asked, why we can use a divider instead of ruler to measure a line segment. To measure a line segment with the help of divider, it will make the correct reading of a line segment. If you use a divider, you can get the correct or exact reading with the help of the divider instead of ruler, and chances of error will also be less in using a divider. So this is the answer, we can use a divider instead of ruler. Now let us see question number 3. We will read the question and we will solve one by one. Draw any line segment, say AB. So I am drawing a line segment AB. Take any point C lying in between A and B. So we are taking any point C lying between A and B. Measure the length of AB, BC and AC. Is AB is equal to AC plus CB. Suppose I am taking AB as 6 centimeter. AC I am taking, so AC if I am measuring it is 2 centimeter and BC I am taking, that will be of 4 centimeter. Now I have to prove that is AB is equal to AC plus CB. So let us solve. Now AB is given, that is 6 centimeter. AC it is 2 centimeter and BC is 4 centimeter. So 2 plus 4 is 6 centimeter, which is equal to AB. So this is proved. AB is equal to AC plus CB. Now let us move to the next question number 4. If A, B, C are 3 points on a line. So suppose this is one line A, B, C, such that AB is equal to 5 centimeter. AB is suppose 5 centimeter, which is given, and BC is equal to 3 centimeter. BC is equal to 3 centimeter and AC is equal to 8 centimeter. Then which one of them lies between the other two? So we have to prove that which alphabet lies between the other two. Now here it is given AB is equal to 5 centimeter, BC is equal to 3 centimeter and AC is equal to 8 centimeter. Now AC is equal to AB plus BC. What is AB? It is 5 centimeter. And what is BC? It is 3 centimeter. You will get 8 centimeter, which is AC. Therefore, we can say that B lies between A and C. So the alphabet or the point B lies between A and C. Question number 5. Verify whether D is the midpoint of line segment AG. Now we have to prove that D is either a midpoint of line segment AG. So let us draw the figure first. Alphabets are given A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Now we have to prove that whether D is the midpoint of line segment AG. Now A to G, it has 6 units. Now from A to D, 1, 2, 3, AD is 3 units, and from D to G it is again 3 units. Now AG is equal to AD plus DG. AD is 3 and DG is 3, that is 6 units, which is equal to AG. That means D divides line segment AD and line segment DG into 2 equal parts. So from this we can say that D is the midpoint of line segment AG. So this was about question number 5. Now let us move to the next question number 6. If B is the midpoint of line segment AC, B is the midpoint of line segment AC and C is the midpoint of line segment BD. C is the midpoint of line segment BD, where ABC lies on a straight line. That means A, B, C and D, they are collinear, they lies on the same line. We have to prove that say if AB is equal to CD. Now let us see, B is the midpoint of AC, therefore AB is equal to BC, because midpoint divides line segment AC into 2 equal parts. Again it is given C is the midpoint of BD, therefore we can say BC is equal to CD. Now both the side BC, so from this we can prove that AB is equal to CD. This is the answer. AB is equal to CD because B is the midpoint of AC and C is the midpoint of BD, where all the points are at a equal distance. Question number 7. Draw 5 triangles and measure their sides. Check in each case if the sum of the lengths of any 2 sides is always greater than the third sides. Now here a triangle we have to draw and we have to prove that if the sum of 2 sides is always greater than its third side. So we will draw one of the triangle. Suppose this is 5 centimeter, this is 3 centimeter and this is 6 centimeter. Let us name it as A, B and C. We have to prove that the sum of 2 sides is always greater than the third side. Now let us take these 2 sides, AB plus BC. AB is 5 centimeter and BC is 3 centimeter, which is equal to 8, and 8 is greater than 6 and 6 is your line segment AC. So it is greater than the third side. Now take these 2 sides. We will take BC plus AC. BC is 3 centimeter and AC is 6 centimeter. 3 plus 6, 9. 9 is greater than 5. 5 is your AB. So again it is greater than the third side. Now let us take AB. So AB is 5 centimeter, AB plus AC. AB is 5 centimeter and AC is 6 centimeter. 5 plus 6, 11, which is greater than 3, and 3 is your BC. So from this we can say that if the sum of two sides is always greater than its third side. You can draw other 5 triangles taking different measurements. Now we will start with exercise 5.2. Question number 1. What fraction of a clockwise revolution does the R end of a clock turn through when it goes from A 3 to 9? So we have to see the revolution, how much revolution it has done. So let us draw the clock first. 12, 6, 3, 9. Now we have to see what fraction. So from 3 to 9, it is at 3 and it goes to 9. So from 3 to 9, this is our right angle, that means 1/4, and from here again it is 1/4. 1/4 plus 1/4, so this is half revolution. So it has gone half of the revolution. Now the second one is 4 to 7. Let us draw the clock. 12, 6, 3, 9. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 and 11. 4 to 7. You are at 4 and it reaches at 7. So 1, 2, 3. That means it will rotate 90 degree. That means it will rotate 1/4 of the revolution. Now question number 2. Where will the hand of a clock stop if it A starts at 12 and makes half of a revolution clockwise? So let us draw the clock first. 12, 6, 3, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5, 10 and here 11. So starts at 12. It starts at 12 and makes half revolution. Half revolution means your 180 degree. So it will reach at 6. So the answer will be, it will reach or stop at 6. Second one, starts at 2 and makes half of a revolution clockwise. So 12, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 and 11. It starts at 2 and make half revolution. Half revolution means again 180 degree. So it starts at 8 and it will stop at 8 o'clock. So it will reach at 8. The rest of the sums you can do it by your own self. Now let us move to the next question number 3. Which direction will you face if you start facing? Now A, east. We know the direction north, east, south and west. East and make half revolution clockwise. So which direction? You are at east and you will go half of a revolution clockwise. So you will reach at west. This is half revolution. So you will reach at west. Now B, east and make 1.5 revolution clockwise. So again north, east, west and south. You are at east and it makes 1.5 revolution. 1 revolution means again it will reach clockwise to east, and again half revolution, that means from east to west. So again it will reach at west. Rest of the sums you can solve by using the same logic. Now let us solve question number 4. What part of a revolution have you turned through if you stand facing? So A, east and turn clockwise to face north. North, south, east and west. It is asked you have to turn, you are at east and turn clockwise to face north. This is east and you are turning face y to north. So this is the clockwise. So 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So you will be at 3/4 of the revolution. So the answer is 3/4 of the revolution to turn north. Now second, south and turns clockwise to face east. So again let us draw. You are at south and turns clockwise to face east. South, again you will turn clockwise to face east. So again it will be 3/4 of the revolution. Now the next question number 5. Find the number of right angles turned through by the R end of a clock when it goes from. So you have to write down the number of the right angles. A 3 to 6. So 12, 6, 3, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 and 11. 3 to 6. So one angle is formed, one right angle is formed. So you will get one right angle when it goes from 3 to 6. Now let us see B, 2 to 8. 12, 6, 3, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. 2 to 8, that is your straight angle. So 90 plus 90, 180. So you will get 2 right angles when it goes from 2 to 8. Now question number 6. How many right angles do you make if you start facing A, south and turn clockwise to west? So again here right angles you have to note it down. So north, south, east and west. You are at south and you have to turn clockwise to west. So here is west. So one right angle you will form, that is 90 degree. Now B, north and turn anti-clockwise to east. North, south, east, west. You are at north and you are turning anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means like this when you are reaching at east. So 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, that is 3/4 of the revolution. That means you will get 3 right angles. Now let us move to the next question number 7. Where will the R end of a clock stop if it starts from? So you have to write down where the R end stops. From 6 and turns through one right angle. 12, 6, 3, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 and 11. From 6, it starts from 6 and turns one right angle. So one right angle, that means 1/4 of the revolution. So it will reach at 9. The answer is 9. It will reach at 9 when it goes one right angle. B, starts from 8. 12, 6, 3, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 and 11. It starts at 8 and turns through 2 right angles. That means 2 right angles means straight angles. So 1, 2, 3, it will reach at 12, 11. That is one right angle. 1, 2, 3. So it will reach at 2. So answer is it will reach at 2 when it turns 2 right angles. Now we will start with exercise 5.4. Exercise 5.3 is just a match the following. You can use your own logic and you can solve it by yourself. So let us move to 5.4. Question number 1. What is the measure of one a right angle and second a straight angle? So let us see. Students, as you all know, measure of a right angle is always 90 degree. So the first answer is 90 degree. And a straight angle means 90 plus 90, so that is 180 degree. So the measure of straight angle is 180 degree. Now let us see question 2. Say true or false. First one, the measure of an acute angle is less than 90 degree. According to the definition of acute angle, angle which is less than 90 degree is called an acute angle. So the answer for the first one will be true. B. The measure of an obtuse angle is less than 90 degree. Now according to the definition of obtuse angle is an angle which is more than 90 degree but less than 180 degree. Here it is given it is less than 90 degree. So the answer for B is false. The rest one you can do it by yourself using the same logics. Now question number 3. Write down the measures of some acute angles. We know acute angles are always less than 90 degrees. So you can write down any of the angles. Suppose 56 degree which is less than 90 degree. 80 degree. So this is also less than 90 degree. Now B. Some obtuse angle. Obtuse angles are the angles which are greater than 90 degree. So one example is 97 degree and you can take 120 degree which is greater than 90 degree. Now we will start with exercise 5.5. Question number 1. Which of the following are the models of perpendicular lines? Now perpendicular lines is the lines where two lines meet each other at a right angle. So the first one, A, the adjacent edges of a tabletop. You have seen a tabletop. Suppose this is a tabletop, these are the adjacent edges. So this is a model of perpendicular lines. It meets at 90 degree. B. The lines of a railway track. Suppose these are the lines of a railway track. They do not meet. They are parallel lines. So this is not a model of a perpendicular lines. Now let us see the next question number 2. Let PQ be the perpendicular to the line segment XY. So this is PQ be the perpendicular to line segment XY. This is XY. Let PQ and XY intersect in the point A. So it should intersect at point A. Now what is the measure of angle PAY? You have to see what will be the measure of angle PAY. By looking at the figure you can say measure angle PAY is 90 degree. Now let us move to the next question number 3. There are two set squares in your box. So in your geometry box there are two set squares if you have seen. What are the measure of the corners? Do they have any angle measure that is common? So let us see set square 1. If you have taken a set square, if you have your set square, there are two set squares in the geometry box. So the first set square it will be of 45 degree. The corners will be 45, 45 and 90 degree. The second will be, second set square will be 30 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. So in both the set squares 90 degree will be the common angle. So this was about question number. Now question number 3. There are two set squares in your box. What are the measures of the angles that are formed at their corners? Do they have any angle measure that is common? So in your geometry box there are two set squares. You have to measure their angles with the help of protractor. So if you take two set square. The first set square will be of 45 degree, 45 degree and 90 degree. The second set square if you have taken, it will be of 30 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. In both the set squares, 90 degree will be the common angle. So this was about question number 3. Question number 4. Study the diagram. The line L is perpendicular to line M. Now let us see a diagram. This is line L and this is line M. Now the markings are given. Let us mark the numbers. First one, A is CE is equal to EG. You have to prove that CE is equal to EG. Now from C to E, the distance is 2 units, and from E to G again the distance is 2 units. So both the sides the distance is of 2 units. So yes, CE is equal to EG. Now let us see B. Does PE bisect CG? Now this is PE point. PE bisect CG. Bisect means is divide a line segment into equal parts. So this is PE and this is CG. So yes, PE bisects CG. Because we have already proved that CE is equal to EG. So E is the midpoint of line segment CG, and here PE divides equally line segment CG into 2 equal parts. Rest of the numbers you can do it by yourself. Now let us see exercise 5.6. Question number 1. Name the types of the following triangles. Now we know that triangles are based on 2 sides, classification according to the angles and classification according to the sides. Now looking at the numbers, we will solve the exercise. Now the first one, A, triangle with length of sides 7 cm, 8 cm and 9 cm. Here the sides are different, all the 3 sides are different. So the first one will be, if all the sides are different, then it is called a scalene triangle. So the first answer is scalene. B, triangle ABC with AB is equal to 8.7 cm, AC is equal to 7 cm and BC is equal to 6 cm. Again here all the 3 sides are unequal, they are of different measurement. So if they are of different measurement, again it will be a scalene triangle. Now let us see C. Triangle PQR such that PQ is equal to QR is equal to PR is equal to 5 cm. Here in triangle PQR all the sides are equal, having same measurement of 5 centimeters. If they have same measurement, then it will be your equilateral triangle. So the third answer is equilateral. Rest of the questions you can solve it by yourself. Now let us see exercise 5.7. The first question is, say true or false. A, each angle of a rectangle is a right angle. So the answer for this will be true, because suppose this is a rectangle, this angle, these are all of 90 degrees. So each angle of a rectangle is 90 degree, that is right angle. So the first one is true. B, the opposite sides of a rectangle are equal in length. Now opposite sides, this is a rectangle, these are the opposite sides. Suppose this is of 5 cm, then its opposite side will be also 5 cm. Suppose this side is 3 cm, then this side will also be 3 centimeter. So opposite sides are equal in length. So the answer for B is true. Now let us see question number 2. Give reasons for the following. A square can be thought of as a special rectangle. Yes, as all the angles are right angles. Now let us see square. A square can be thought of as a special rectangle as all the angles are right angle. This all the angles are right angles, that is of 90 degrees. So we can say that this square can be thought of a special rectangle. Now let us see B. A rectangle can be thought of as a special parallelogram. Parallelogram, that means in a parallelogram opposite sides are parallel and opposite sides are equal. So we can say that a rectangle can be thought of a special parallelogram. Rest of the sums you can solve it by yourself using the same logic. Now let us start with exercise 5.8. Question number 1. Examine whether the following are polygons. If any one among these is not, say why. Now whether you have to find out whether they are polygons or not. So let us see. Now here this is a open figure and you know the definition of a polygon. It is a closed made up of entirely line segments. Here it is line segments but it is not closed, it is open. So it is, as it is open, so it is not a polygon. Now let us see B figure. Now here all the sides it is closed and made up of entirely line segments. So yes, it is a polygon. Now let us see question number 2. Name each polygon. As we have seen different polygons with different line segments. Now the first one, it is 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is called a quadrilateral. A line segment with 4 sides is called a quadrilateral. The second one is 3 sides. So if it is a 3-sided polygon, it is called a triangle. Rest of the sums you can do it by using the same logic. Now let us see question number 3. Draw a rough sketch of a regular hexagon. As we know that hexagon has 6 sides. So let us draw one rough figure of a hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Connecting any 3 of its vertices. So before connecting the vertices, let us name it A, B, C, D, E, F. Connecting any 3 vertices, draw a triangle. Identify the type of the triangle you have drawn. Now I am connecting F with B. One vertex, second vertex, and this is the third vertex. I have connected all the 3 vertices and you have to identify the triangle. So this triangle you have made, this is of equilateral triangle. So from the regular hexagon we have made an equilateral triangle by joining 3 vertices. Now let us move to the next question 4. Draw a rough sketch of a regular octagon. Now octagon has 8 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let us name it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Use squared paper if you wish. If you want to wish, you can use the square paper. Draw a rectangle by joining exactly 4 of the vertices of the octagon. So you have to make a rectangle by joining the 4 vertices. So I can join C with H and D with G. So this will become a rectangle. C, D, G, H is a rectangle. Now let us move to the next question number 5. A diagonal is a line segment that joins any 2 vertices of the polygon and is not a side of the polygon. So we know the diagonals are the line segment which joins any of the vertices of a polygon and it is not the side of the polygon. So let us draw a rough sketch of a pentagon. As we know, pentagon has 5 sides. So let us draw a pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a pentagon. Draw a rough sketch of pentagon and draw its diagonals. Suppose let us name it as A, B, C, D, E. Now I am joining its diagonals. Now suppose I am joining the diagonals E with B. Then let us say EB. Then B with D. So BD, I can join D with A. So DA, A with C. So again AC is the diagonal and C with E. So I have joined the diagonals with using the vertices. Now let us see exercise 5.9. Students, question number 1 is match the following. You can use the logic and you can solve it by yourself. Let us see question number 2. What shape is A? Your instrument box. So we have seen different dimensional shapes: cube, cuboid, sphere, cylindrical, pyramid and so on. So the first question is your instrument box, your geometry box or your compass box. So what is the shape of your instrument box? It is cuboidal. So the first answer is cuboid. B. A brick. Brick means जो हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं that is called ईंट. A brick is also a cuboidal shape. C. A matchbox. You have already seen a matchbox. So again matchbox is a shape of cuboid. D. A road roller. A road roller that is used to roll the road. So that is the shape of the road roller is in a cylindrical shape. So the shape is cylinder. Both the sides it is curved surface. E. A sweet laddu. So you have seen laddu also and you like laddus also. Laddu is a shape of a sphere. So this was about exercise 5.9.